What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We only have one game on the slate to dive into for Wednesday, August 20th, but we're going to break down and analyze that game. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points of the spread, and we'll also go over a few player props that I found in that game that I like. And when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. It's where you're going to find all of my final plays for this game listed for free. Typically, right here, we jump over there to the website and recap our plays from the day before, but I am recording this video as those Tuesday night games tip off. So we will recap Tuesday's plays along with whatever we take here in this game in our video for Thursday. So let's not waste any more time, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's jump into the action, man. 10 p.m. tip-off time for this game. It's going to be the Dallas Wings and the Los Angeles Sparks. Sparks are 7.5-point favorites, total sitting at 180.5. That's going to be the third head-to-head between these two this season, with the last meeting coming just this past Friday. The Sparks have won each of the first two games, 93-79 in Dallas back in early June, and then their win at home on Friday in a one-point victory. Now, LA, they've cooled down recently, man. They've gone just 2-3 over their last five. They're sitting at 16-18. That's half a game back for that last playoff spot. They're just 6-10 straight up and 5-11 against the spread when playing at home, but they are 3-1 both straight up and to the number over their last four home games. Dallas, they've lost 13 of their last 16. They've gone just 9-26 overall on the year, 17-18 against the spread, and went on the road 4-13 straight up, 8-9 to the number. Now, that 97-96 score from Friday, on the surface, it indicates a much closer game than what we actually saw. The Sparks, they led this one throughout much of the contest, man. They held a 13-point lead with a little over 4 minutes to play. They just simply fell asleep, man, thinking that they had this one locked up. They let the Wings regain the momentum, and honestly, if Dallas had just one more possession, like a little bit more time, man, they probably could have pulled out the dub in that one. But nonetheless, LA shot the ball better from deep, 44% to 33 from Dallas. They beat the Wings on the glass. They outscored them in transition as well. So this is a game, guys, that where while that total is sitting way, way up there, I get it, and I like the over here more than I like the side even. First of all, man, the Sparks have cooled off offensively, sure, and Dallas have had their struggles with consistency, but one thing is for absolute certain, man. Neither of these teams are about to play any defense at all, man. Over the last five games, the Wings are just 10th for offensive rating, while the Sparks sit at 5th. But as far as defensive rating is concerned, Dallas is the second worst team in the W, while the Sparks are coming in at dead last. And each of these teams are giving up a ton of shots from the perimeter. Now, again, man, Dallas is hitting the second fewest looks from deep, while the Sparks are hitting the third most. But Dallas did shoot above their average on Friday against LA, hitting 9 threes in that one. And the Sparks on the year and over their last five games as well are giving up the most three-pointers per game. The Wings, they're allowing the third most threes on the year and the second most over their last five. We talked a little already about the free throw disparity between these two in that head-to-head on Friday. On the year, Dallas is putting opponents on the line at the highest rate in the W. The Sparks are at the fourth lowest. So I do think that we'll see more of that here in this game as well. Now, these two, they have allowed the most points per game over the course of the year. They're the bottom two in the league. In their last five, they've given up even more, man. They're both averaging above 90 points per game allowed to the opposition. Now, staying in these last five games, the Sparks are hitting the most shots from inside the restricted area in the paint. Dallas is just middle of the pack at sixth, defending from this zone. The Wings are hitting the most field goals from outside the restricted area in the paint, and the Sparks are giving up the fifth most such shots and at the second highest shooting percentage. Now, Dallas has hit the third most shots from the mid-range over the course of the year, and in the last five games, LA has given up the most mid-range field goals and at the highest shooting percentage across the W. Sparks have also hit the most three-point shots from the corner, and they're shooting the above the break three at the third highest shooting percentage across the W. Dallas is allowing the most above the break threes and at the highest shooting percentage in their last five games, and the most threes from the corner over the course of the season. So, that's the thing that feels the most certain here, man. Points should be scored, right? These two can take advantage of poor defensive play, and the poor defensive play that really it plays into the strengths of each of their offenses. So I do also think that the Sparks have more of those strengths when it's all said and done, man. But I'm not sure that I want to lay 7.5 with them. Back in the Wings on the road isn't really ideal either. That's not where I would want to be. So it's going to be a LA lean on the side for me. I'm just not sure that I can get there. But like I said, I like the total more in this one. Give me the over in this one. And also, I don't think it hurts to look at some props in this game, man. With a ton of points expected to be on the board. So I found some player props that I like in this one. The first one I love. I've already got this one put in. And then we're going to go over three more that I'm looking at as well. So let's go ahead and jump over to Outlier. We'll do just that. First up, looking at Derek Hamby of the Sparks, looking at her points and assists over 20.5. We've cashed on this quite a bit this year. Now, you can get this is at minus 125 over there at DraftKings. You can get a 21.5, and you're going to find that at minus 105 over there at Bet365. But I like the data on this one just a little bit better, man. 56% on the year, right? 19 out of 34 games. But if we look at her in her last five, hitting at an 80% rate, 21, 24, 24, and 33 over those last 4 games. So 4 games in a row that we've gone up and over this mark, averaging 23.6 points and assists. So we're well above that mark where we need to be. In our last 10 games, hitting at a 60% rate even, and in the last 20, hitting at a 65% rate. So more green than red across the board, no matter how far back we push it. And the thing that I really love here is looking at her head-to-head, right? Hitting at a 100% hit rate over those last 6 games. Both times this season as well, she has gone up and over that mark against Dallas. And you can see why, man. Like we said, Dallas's defense is just horrendous, right? Sitting at second from last for points allowed, dead last for assists allowed. So yeah, like I said, Derek Hamby over 20.5 points plus assists. That's going to be the first play. And I got that one locked in already. Minus 125 over there at DraftKings. I also like looking at Rakia Jackson. We cashed on this one a couple days ago as well. Over 1.5 3-pointers, sitting at minus 132 over there at FanDuel. And that Dallas defense is sitting at third from last for 3-pointers allowed, sitting at second from last as far as 3-pointers allowed to the forward position specifically. Rakia has hit over this mark in 8 of her last 10 games, 80% hit rate, 100% over those last 5 games. And look, it's not necessarily like she's shooting the lights out, right? 35%, not bad, but not great. She's getting the attempts, and that's the thing, right? 7 attempts in the last 2 games, 10 attempts prior to that. You can see even these games here, she's getting up at least 5 3-point attempts. Let's push it back a little bit further. You can see, like I said, just consistently getting the looks, right? You got 1 game here out of 10 where she didn't get at least 5 attempts. So, Rakia Jackson, over 1.5 3-pointers made, minus 132 over there at FanDuel. Now, also like to take a look at Paige Beckers of the Wings. Her points and assists over 23.5. This one's sitting at minus 130 over there at DraftKings. Much like Dallas, right? We've already talked about it. This LA defense is really no better, sitting at dead last for points allowed, second from last for assists allowed, and against that guard position, it doesn't get much better. Third from last for each of those categories. Arike Gumbawale is also most likely going to be out in this one as well. Game time decision, so just more opportunity for Paige out there on the court. And honestly, man, I think that her and the Wings as a whole play better when Arike is not out there jacking up a bunch of bricks, right? So we definitely have that working in our advantage, especially if she does not end up playing and that game time decision comes to fruition, right? And she sits out. Now we see Paige hitting this at a 60% rate in her last 10 games, averaging 24.6 points and assists in those games. And in the last 5, averaging 25 points and assists, hitting also at a 60% rate. Head to head this season, she has hit over that mark in the 1 game. She did sit out that first game against the Sparks and goes off for 29 points and 5 assists in that matchup on Friday. So just crushing that 23.5 point and assist mark, right? Landing well over it at 34. I like her to have the similar success here, man. I don't think that either of these defenses are strong enough to really make the adjustments that are needed. And I don't really trust the coaching either on either side. So I like Paige to have another good one here. So like I said, over 23.5 points and assists. That's sitting at minus 130 over there at DraftKings. And guys, that is going to wrap it up with just the 1 game on the slate. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that is going to do it, man. Hope you guys all have a great night. Hope you guys all cash out. And I'm going to see you back tomorrow for the next one.